The sheriff and his deputies carefully inspected the fallen creature, trying to make sense of what they were seeing. Its body was unlike anything they had ever encountered before, with twisted and contorted limbs that seemed almost inhuman. As they looked closer, they noticed strange markings etched into the creature's skin, symbols and sigils that glowed with a sickly green light. The sheriff recognized some of them from his studies of ancient texts and folklore, and he knew that they were associated with dark and malevolent forces. The deputies shuddered at the sight, their hands shaking as they reloaded their weapons. The sheriff knew that they were dealing with something that was beyond their comprehension, something that they could not hope to defeat through conventional means. The sheriff motioned for his deputies to keep their guard up, knowing that they were now facing a threat that was beyond their usual experiences. He ordered them to keep a safe distance and called for backup. As they waited for reinforcements, the sheriff studied the markings on the creature's skin, trying to make sense of their meaning. He knew that the symbols were associated with powerful dark magic, and that the creature must have been summoned from another realm. The sheriff's mind raced, trying to piece together what had happened. He wondered who could have summoned such a malevolent being, and for what purpose. He knew that they were dealing with something far beyond their understanding, and that they needed help from experts in the occult and paranormal. Finally, backup arrived, including a team of specialists in paranormal investigations. They examined the creature and its markings, and confirmed the sheriff's suspicions. The creature was a demon, summoned by a powerful sorcerer who was seeking to harness its dark powers. The sheriff and his team knew that they had to act quickly, before the sorcerer could summon more demons and unleash them upon the town. With the combined forces of the team of specialists and the vigilantes led by the hunter, they set their plan in motion. They tracked down the sorcerer's hiding place and prepared for a confrontation. As they approached the sorcerer's lair, they could feel the dark energy emanating from within. The team of specialists warned the vigilantes to be careful, as the sorcerer was a powerful adversary. As they entered the lair, the sorcerer emerged from the shadows, his eyes glowing with an intense, malevolent energy. He began chanting an incantation, and the very air around them grew thick with dark magic. The demons he had summoned seemed stronger than ever, and the team quickly found themselves on the defensive. The sorcerer appeared to have the upper hand, his powers seemingly unlimited. The hunter realized that they were in trouble and quickly formulated a new plan. He called out to the sorcerer, distracting him for a moment. While the sorcerer was distracted, the hunter used his own powers to create a shield around the team. The shield protected them from the sorcerer's attacks, but they were still struggling to defeat the demons. The sorcerer's power seemed to be growing stronger with each passing moment. Finally, the hunter stepped forward and confronted the sorcerer directly. The two engaged in a powerful battle, their magic colliding in a dazzling display of light and energy. It was a close fight, but in the end, the sorcerer emerged victorious. The hunter was badly injured, and the rest of the team was exhausted and demoralized. As the sorcerer prepared to deliver the final blow, a strange portal appeared behind him. Without hesitation, he stepped through it, disappearing from sight. The team was left shaken and uncertain about what had just happened. They knew that the sorcerer had escaped, but they had no idea where he had gone or what he was planning next. They realized that they had to be prepared for anything, as the sorcerer's dark power and thirst for revenge was still a threat to them all. The sorcerer's laughter echoed through the dark chamber as the team struggled to regain their footing. The demons had regrouped and were now attacking with renewed ferocity. The hunter's weapon had been shattered, leaving him defenseless against the onslaught. The sorcerer had regained his strength and was now directing the demons with ease. The team fought valiantly, but they were clearly outmatched. The demons were everywhere, clawing and biting at anything in their path. The team was forced to retreat deeper into the lair, hoping to find a way out. But the sorcerer was always one step ahead. He had laid traps and obstacles in their path, causing them to stumble and fall. The air grew thicker and colder as they descended deeper into the sorcerer's domain. The team could hear the sorcerer's voice taunting them from the darkness, promising them a fate worse than death. Their fear grew with each passing moment, and they began to question whether they would ever make it out alive. As they pressed on, they encountered a room unlike any they had seen before. The walls were covered in grotesque symbols and the air was heavy with the stench of death. In the center of the room stood the sorcerer, his eyes glowing with a malevolent energy. The sorcerer raised his hand, and the demons around him began to grow in size and strength. The team knew that they had reached the final showdown, and that their fate hung in the balance. With a fierce determination, they charged towards the sorcerer, ready to give it their all in a last-ditch effort to defeat him. The sorcerer's eyes narrowed as the team approached him. He raised his hand and unleashed a wave of dark energy that knocked them all to the ground. The team tried to get back up, but the sorcerer was relentless. He summoned more and more demons, each more powerful than the last. The team fought with all their might, but they were no match for the sorcerer's dark powers. The sorcerer laughed as he watched the team struggle. He taunted them, promising to make them suffer for their defiance. The team knew that they had to come up with a plan quickly, or they would all perish. One of the specialists in paranormal investigations noticed a weakness in the sorcerer's defenses. He whispered the plan to the others, and they nodded in agreement. The team split up, each one attacking the demons from a different angle. They managed to distract the demons long enough for the hunter to make his move. The hunter reached into his bag and pulled out a small vial filled with a bright blue liquid. He hurled the vial towards the sorcerer, and it shattered on impact. A blinding light filled the room, and the sorcerer screamed in pain. The demons around him disintegrated into ashes, and the sorcerer's powers were greatly diminished. The team seized the opportunity and attacked the sorcerer with all their might. But the sorcerer was still too strong, and he managed to fight them off. As the fight raged on, the team began to tire. The sorcerer seemed to be growing stronger with each passing moment, and they knew that they couldn't hold out much longer. Finally, with a final burst of energy, the sorcerer unleashed a massive wave of dark energy that engulfed the entire room. The team was knocked off their feet, and everything went dark. When they came to, they found themselves lying in a pile of rubble. The sorcerer and the demons were gone, and they were left with more questions than answers. But one thing was clear: they had only scratched the surface of the sorcerer's true power. And if they were to face him again, they would need to be stronger and better prepared than ever before. Weeks had passed since the team's encounter with the sorcerer, and they had spent much of that time recovering from their injuries. They had gone to the hospital immediately after the battle and had spent a month in rehabilitation, healing from their wounds. But now, they were back to planning their next move. They had learned a lot from their last encounter with the sorcerer, and they knew that they needed to be better prepared if they were going to stand a chance against him. The team had spent countless hours researching the sorcerer's powers and weaknesses, and they had discovered a few key pieces of information that they believed could be useful in their next battle. One of the specialists in the group had discovered a rare herb that was known to weaken the sorcerer's dark powers. The team had spent weeks searching for this herb, and they had finally found it growing in a remote corner of the forest. Another member of the team had discovered a ritual that was said to protect them from the sorcerer's dark energy. The team had practiced this ritual over and over again, hoping to perfect it before their next encounter with the sorcerer. And finally, the hunter had spent weeks crafting a new weapon, one that he believed would be powerful enough to take down the sorcerer once and for all. The team was now ready to face the sorcerer again, armed with their new knowledge and weapons. They knew that the sorcerer would not go down easily, but they were determined to succeed, no matter the cost.